Hey guys, how y'all doing? Welcome to Recipe for Disaster Part 6 Quest Guide Freeing Evil Dave. Now, these are the quests you're going to need, so pay attention. You're going to need 25 cooking, and then Gertrude's Cat and Shadow of the Storm. All those pictures on the screen actually link back to the quest, so you can use those, or check the description for links. You need 10 stews, and a cat, or a wily cat. You can use a kitten, and you can use a lazy cat, but I really think you shouldn't do that, because you will waste your time. You might as well just get a cat and do a different part of this quest, or do something else, or I'm sorry, get a kitten and do something else until it becomes a cat, and then work from there. Don't waste your time. Now, when you're ready to start the quest, just click on Evil Dave, and the gypsy will say that Evil Dave lives with his mom in the basement of his mom's house, actually. So, talk to the cook and ask about protecting Evil Dave. I think it's just a good habit to get into. Whether or not you need to do this is beyond me, but you know, I like doing it. Anyway, when you think you're good to go, I'm going to teleport to Camelot first. Now, if you already have the stews, you don't need to do this, but I want to show you guys where you can get stews if you're like an Iron Man or whatever. You're going to need 10 stews, okay? So I'm going to get a little bit more than 10 just because at the time I was recording this I didn't know that I only needed 10, but I'm telling you now, you guys, you only need 10. So talk to the bartender in the Sears bar and say, what do you have? Ask for some stew. Now repeat this process until you have 10 stews. It'll cost you 200 coins. And once you think you have enough stew, go and make your way to Edgeville. I'm going to go ahead and take a guess and say 20 stews is probably enough. Now I have a glory, so I'm just going to glory to Edgeville. And you're going to want some inventory space, though. You're going to want about 8 inventory spaces. And you don't need an amulet of cat speak, however I'm going to wear mine, because fashionscape. So this is where Evil Dave lives, right in this house right here. So talk to Doris and ask if Dave can come out to play. No, I'm kidding, it doesn't matter what you say, but go down to the basement after you talk to her and talk to Evil Dave. Now say, what did you eat at the secret council meeting? Now say, you've got to tell me because the magic requires it. He says the stew he had tasted really evil, and that he knows the recipe from his mom. So go back upstairs and talk to her, ask her how she gets the spices, and she says you get them from hell rats. So once you've talked to her and she says that the spices are from hell rats, you can go down here and start catching them. If you're catching these and they're not dropping spices, go talk to Doris and then that'll fix your problem. Anyway, this process is pretty repetitive. You're just going to want to interact with your cat, hit chase, and it'll try to catch rats. And when it catches one, on its dead body will be spices of a certain sort, and ashes. Now you're going to want 6 doses of each color. There are 4 colors: brown, yellow, red, and orange. So just kill a whole bunch. I'm going to speed through this though. So get at least 6 doses of all 4 spices, and make sure you also have your 10 stews. And once you get to that point, we can move right along. Now the second part I'm going to forewarn you is going to be a little bit trickier, or at least to explain, but I think you guys will get it. I think I've figured out how to explain this and make it not super hard to understand. But we'll see. So once you get all 6 spices, or at least 6 of every spice, 6 doses even, we're ready to move on. So step 1, add 1 dose of spice to a stew and then use it on Dave, and he'll tell you if you have the correct amount or not. If you don't, use 2 of that same, or use 2 doses of that same spice and then try again. And if he says it's wrong, that means it automatically has to be 3 because there cannot be more than 3 spices per stew. Once you figure out the correct amount, move on to the next color and do it like that. So I'm going to show you guys, right? I just put 1 thing of red spice into a stew. I'm going to use it on Dave. He says all the spices are wrong. Okay, so 1 dose of red is wrong. So I'm going to use 2 doses of red. And I'm going to use it on Dave. He says I've got the correct amount of one spice, but the others are wrong. Okay, that means it is 2 red. Now I'm going to write down, in my chat box, I'm going to write down 2 red, just because that'll help me remember it. So 2 red. Now use a different color. I'm going to use brown next. Same pattern. Use 1 brown, use it on Dave. Alright, it says I've got the amount of 1 spice right. That means it is 1 brown. So just like I did with the red, I'm going to type in 1 brown. Now I'm going to use 1 orange spice on the stew. I'm going to use it on Dave. Dave says all the spices are wrong. Alright, let's try and do 2 spices, or 2 doses of orange, and use it on Dave. He says that's right, but the others are wrong. Alright, cool. So I'm going to write down 2 orange. Now, for whatever reason, you do 2 orange or whatever and it's not right, that means it is 3. You don't need to test 3, it's a waste of spice. However, I'm going to follow the same pattern for yellow, and apparently it was 1 yellow dose, and that was fine too. So I think that that's pretty, easy. Once you figure out all of these, add them all to the same stew. Like I said, having them written out definitely makes this process a lot easier. Especially if you're like me and you just have like a terrible memory. Once you have everything added correctly, then you can use it on Dave. He won't drink it all. Or I guess eat. Yep, use it on him. And if it's right, he said it's totally evil. It's exactly how I remember it. So like I said, I think I explained that pretty well. Use 1 spice on a stew and test it. Use 2 spices on a stew and test it. Use 3 spices, or no, you don't need to ever use 3 spices. If 1 spice is wrong and 2 spices is wrong, then you know it's 3. Move on. So you should never need more than 6 spices. But yeah, there you go guys. Once you have the spicy stew, make sure you don't accidentally drink it. Use it on Dave. Make sure you right click use. He goes, whoa, what happened? And you freed him. And that's quest complete, guys. Or at least sub-quest complete. Evil Dave has been free of 1 quest point, and 7,000 cooking experience, and you now get a Hellcat, which will randomly transform, or if you get a cat and are catching Hellrats, it'll randomly become a Hellcat. You can use milk to make it back to a regular cat. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.